you get deployed, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in the Middle East or Iraq.
If I was to get mobilized, it really wouldn't be a whole big ordeal because my school and people I work with.
The minute I got to the top of the bridge, they had set off an IED and it hit the truck. And one friend of mine was killed and I was hurt real bad.
Severed artery in his leg, he'd lost the hearing in his left ear, he had a concussion, horrendous shrapnel injuries down his entire left side.
The first day that we took over our sector, we had my old company commander was killed, and one of my good friends was killed, and there was another guy that, he lost his leg, and 2 other guys got wounded. It really made it real, and very quickly. So it was, it was no longer a game at that point.
That invincibility, that buying into Marine stuff, it ends that first day. And certainly each firefight after that, I mean, you quickly learn that at any second, you can be dead.
Lance Corporal Chad B. Maynard, age 19. Staff Sergeant Justin L. Vasquez, age 26.
The recruiters told me about the college fund that I would be getting. Really, that was the kicker for me.
They always tell you, oh yeah, you'll be able to go to school while you're in the military, right? Okay, so 4 years, 3 rotations to Iraq, you got a rotation to Afghanistan, half your unit's always gone, so you're super busy trying to pick up the slack. When are you studying? When are you going to college? Yeah, right, your commander's letting you off early so that you can go to class. Okay.
They're not telling the kids that, by the time you go through 2 or 3 tours in Iraq, you're not going to be in any shape to go to school.
My job in the Army Reserve is going to help out in my civilian life because I'd like to be a lawyer, I'd like to go to law school.
Well, I'm a great killer. I know how to blow up bridges, buildings, and people. I know how to dismantle mines.
I was lost when I got out. I had to start from the bottom. I was a security guard, I've been a housekeeper, I've been a receptionist.
Hitchhiking, never having a place to stay, bumming money. Yeah, I was panhandling on the streets, and it took me about 3 years to get that, to work some of that out of my system.
Here are some questions you may want to ask your recruiter. Should I choose active, reserve, or ROTC?
You have to be very meticulous in your method of question asking when you talk to a recruiter. It's like talking to the devil, because the devil will tell you the truth, but only the piece of the truth he wants you to hear.
If you're 18 years old, and you walk into a recruiter's office by yourself, you're just a target for them to make their quota. I mean, a recruiter's a salesman.
I had a recruiter that took me in underneath his wing and taught me the right way, on how to recruit, and forget about what they taught you in recruiter school. When you get out onto the streets of America, things are different. When I was now being asked to lie or fraud, I started to wonder to myself, what else did they lie to me about?
I don't care about those other promises that the recruiter broke, but the one promise that wasn't in writing that recruiter told Casey was that even if there was a war, Casey wouldn't see combat. He was in Iraq for 5 days before he was killed.
I joined the military because I really wanted to help people, you know what I mean? I meant what I said in my oath of enlistment. I really, really did, but the military really, really didn't. You know what I mean? Right down to finding out that my military contract is not at all in a contract, it's an agreement that we enter into that is subject to change by them, but not subject to change by me.
You have to live up to all these standards and commitments, but the Army doesn't have to do anything. They can change anything they want about your contract pretty much at any time. So say it's an all-volunteer Army, I volunteer for 4 years. Well, the Army decides they want to keep you for 6 years or 8 years, and they can do that.
3 to 4 months before the end of my 8-year contract, I got stop loss, and I got put on orders to get sent to Iraq, and I was sent to the Middle East and then to Iraq. And that's how I ended up going.
My recruiter actually came to visit me in college. He said to me that if I can offer you a guarantee that you'll be back in school next semester, will you enlist? So they did me on what's called a split program, where you do boot camp one summer, and then the following summer you do your combat training as well as your MOS training. But by the following summer, I was in Iraq.
I decided on the Army Reserves because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do after high school, and I thought it was a good step for me to find out what I was interested in.
I had come here from Costa Rica, I was a recent immigrant, and I was basically just making minimum wage without the possibility to go to school. I had no friends, I had no sense of purpose, really. I just happened to be home when the Army guy called, and he was an infantryman. He talked to me about being an infantryman, so I signed up for infantry.
I used to recruit in this school. This school is predominantly working class. You see the refinery in the background as we were coming in. That's pretty much the mainstay source of income and revenue other than retail shops. I could pull at least 2 bodies a month out of the school. We have a class system in America, and the poor really do fight the wars.
There's nothing around here but crack fiends and broken dreams. You try to, make it through, like your plans, like your goals in life, or either sell drugs or be locked up or dead. Those are your choices. Recruiters, they aim at people, young black, young Hispanic, Caucasian, anybody. Like who they think, well, he's not gonna make it in life. You don't have a plan in life. The recruiter comes down and tries to save the day. He's Superman. Shells, cases, body bags around here. Well, I got a 5-year plan actually. Like if I don't make it in the music thing, I'm dropping it. Like I still got, college right there. I'm glad that I didn't swear in.
People feel that the military is an escape. The military will not do that for you. They will make you dependent on a system that doesn't care about you in the first place when you grew up in the hood.
An Army post is nothing like you would see in the movies. It's just like a regular community. Living on post is very nice. All the amenities of a regular community. Grocery store.
My first duty station to report to was Fort Hood, Texas. There were stabbings, there were rapes, and drug deals in my barracks.
Some common misconceptions in the Army is that you're not allowed to have a personal life.
Being a single soldier in the Army is actually quite fun. They have put a lot of events on post for people to get to know people.
When you're a woman in the military, you're either a bitch, a slut, or a lesbian, and that's how you're going to be treated. It seems like when you're a woman, specifically in a combat zone, not only do you have to be afraid of the supposed insurgents and the enemies and the Iraqis, but then you also come back to the base, and then there you have to be fearful of your fellow soldiers.
Every woman in the military is sexually harassed, on some level or another. Your recruiter is definitely not mentioning any of that to you when you come to enlist.
I've had several friends in the military who've been raped, and one of them went to her chain of command and was told, well, it'll be too hard to prove, so you should just drop it. When you think about war, it's like a video game, and that's how the recruiters portray it too. That's why they have video games for recruitment. Missing from recruiters' talk, missing from the discussion in our society are thousands of soldiers. Burned, blinded, amputated limbs, suffering from very strong emotional trauma.
I started having like really bad nightmares where literally it would they were so intense that I thought I was really back in Iraq. Like, I really thought I was there again in my sleep. And I would wake up and my whole entire body would be covered with sweat, like I just ran 10 miles. And, you know, it would affect me so much that for the whole rest of the day, I was like, I couldn't really think. Like, my mind was like clouded with those thoughts. I couldn't even function, really. That's all I thought about. So I started drinking to go to sleep and stuff. And, you know, I got a DUI, and I got in like a bunch of fights, like out at bars and stuff. Somebody would, you know, say something may or may not have been offensive, and like I would just explode. I couldn't. I mean, I wanted to come back, like I wanted to, but I really just couldn't. I couldn't relate.
My dad had to tell me a couple times, you know, he had to grab hold of me and shake me in the middle of the night because I'd be rummaging the house, looking for my machine gun and my helmet and my armor and my boots, you know. And he'd tell me, man, that stuff's not here and you don't have anywhere to go. You're home, you're safe, you need to go to sleep.
I'm in field artillery. I get to go out and blow things up.
It's a lot of fun. Heck, what other job can you fire weapons in? I mean...
War is not a game. There is no resetting the button. Once you kill, that's it. And the horrors of killing stay with you forever.
I can't believe that every round we dropped, you know, hit a Taliban fighter. I can't believe that every one of those people that died was, you know, trying to kill me. I think about it every single day.
Weapons they're not prejudiced. They don't see good or bad, white or black or whatever. When they go off, they go everywhere.
We're talking about 1 million Iraqis killed and millions others injured in the last 6 years. Imagine each one of these 1 million have a story. Each one of these million have families and have relatives and loved ones.
Jesus called me 3 days late. Jesus cried and told me, Father, I not joined to the Marines for kill the children, and I killed the children.
If you do make it through and you come home, it's something that you're gonna have to live with the rest of your day, and you're gonna have to learn to deal with it.
What you bring back from war is, and I mean this in a literal sense, in your bones, in your blood, in your skin, in your tissues, in your mind, forever.
It's your life. It's not my life. Whatever I say, my son is never back. Whatever I say, my grandson never have the father with him. Whatever I say, my wife and me cry every single day for my son. It's your life. You have a choice.
Private Justin R. Yeomans at the age of 20.
Staff Sergeant Justin L. Vasquez, age 26. Private First Class Jeffrey F. Braun, age 19. Corporal Kima Fum An Shanawansky, age 22. Private First Class Anthony D. D'Agostino, age 20.